Yo, what is up, you guys? This is Gucci Nathan from Gucci Nathan Vlogs, and welcome to this week's vlog video. So for this week's vlog video, this is the thing I wanted to show you guys. So it is my camera collection. I'm going to show you all the cameras that I have, film and digital, and let me know what you think. Alright guys, starting off with film cameras. So the first camera I have here is the Kodak Brownie Hawkeye flash model that I got at my local thrift store for $15. Ooh, man, that's pretty cheap. That's a good deal. The next camera is my favorite point-and-shoot camera of all time. My favorite 35mm film point-and-shoot, the Nikon One Touch Zoom 90. I've shot tons of rolls through this from early 2020 up until this year. So I've shot with this thing for 2 years now. The next camera I got my local thrift store for just $2. It's a very simplistic camera. It is the Digimax HC 2000 focus free. And there's no flash. It's extremely simple. Wow. Okay, so next up we have these three cameras. Alright, and these were donated to me by my cousin Tracy. So yeah, here's camera number 1, camera number 2. Unfortunately, the battery door on this one is broken, so I have to plaster tape on it. And then here's the third one. I actually had 4 of them sent to me, but one of them didn't work, so I only kept 3 of them here. And I've shot film that came with the cameras, as well as some other films. Next up, another camera I got donated from Tracy, the Konica Eoph 140 Super. Now this came with a film inside, but unfortunately it didn't really work. So I just decided to take out the film, which was Fuji HG 200, I think. But it's a pretty cool looking camera nonetheless. Alright, next camera. We got the Canon Mega Zoom 76 that I got at my local thrift store. Decided to put the sticker on here, but yeah, this is a really cool early 90s point and shoot film camera here. I love the color, love the shape. Really cool. And then this is the Samsung Maxima Zoom Evoca that has fake panoramic capabilities. That's a cool camera right there. I actually got that at my local church back in summer 2020. Alright? Next, we have an unusual type of camera that takes an unusual type of film. APS film. Very small point-and-shoot camera, but this is the Canon EOPH LT260, and I have shot a roll through this that expired in November of 2000, which was really old, and I was surprised that the pictures came out well. Next, we have my 120 film camera, the Holga 120 Gcfn. Alright? And very simple 120 camera that comes with a flash and even a color wheel, white, red, yellow, and blue. And it even comes with 2 film masks. 2 film masks here, one for 16 exposures and one for 12 exposures. So yeah. Next up, we have the Minolta Autopack 430E, which is a 110 film camera that takes simple little 110 cartridges like these. These are the types of cartridges that it takes. That's awesome. Alright, and then this is my 126 camera, the Kodak Somatic X700. Now this is a 126 camera. It's a pretty old camera. It's from the 70s, I think, and it works wonders. It's mostly made out of plastic, and you can use magic cubes. Magic cubes are basically flash cubes that you put on your camera, and you don't even need batteries for those types of flash cubes, which is really cool. Even the modern cameras nowadays require batteries just to operate a camera. That's really cool that there are such things as flash cubes that don't even require batteries. Here's a camera that I just recently got. It is the Pentax IQ Zoom 115G. And right now I'm actually shooting with film, which is some expired Kodak Max 400. So yeah, this is my other 110 camera. It is the Kodak Pocket Instamatic 30 camera. And it is another one of those cameras that takes the 110 cartridge. And it also works well. Albeit a little bit more stiff and even older. But what's even crazier is that the battery in here, yeah, this takes a weird type of battery. This is the type of battery that it takes. And they don't even make them anymore. But believe it or not, as you can tell by the LED light here, it still works. And even comes in a nice fancy case. Alright. Next up, we have in this cute pink box is a Fujifilm Instax Mini 7 Plus. Now, I actually won this in a ticket drawing while we were on the bus on the way to Athol, Idaho, you know, for that theme park I went to for the graduation trip. If you haven't seen that video, go watch it. But I used this camera to take some pictures up there. So, here's a little bit more of the camera. So, yep, there's the camera right there. Nice. This is cool. Nice pink. Love it. And then I actually have another Instax Mini camera. It is the Fujifilm Instax Mini 11. This is my favorite Instax camera. Not as bulky as the other one. And it's really cool camera. And it comes with the selfie mode. You don't have to adjust the exposure by yourself. You know why? Because it does it automatically for you. This is a nice, sleek design and everything. I love it. The next cameras are actually in these cases. And, by the way, this Pentax camera came with this case right here, so yeah. Anyway, in this Minolta case, we have a Minolta branded camera in here. It is the Minolta Af Big Finder date. I think this is a really cool camera. It's a big viewfinder. You can even set the date by yourself, and it's a nice smelling camera. It's beautiful. Yeah, loving it. And it's auto flash. That means you don't adjust the flash by yourself. So whatever lighting condition it detects, it will either use the flash or not. Alright? In this Pentax case, it's actually not a Pentax camera. It is a Vivitar camera. Specifically the Vivitar PZ3110 data back camera. I think this camera looks pretty cool. In this case, with the cow sticker on it, is actually my grandma's point-and-shoot camera that she used back in the day, back in like the early 2000s. This is the Minolta Freedom GT, and I actually have shot black and white rolls with this camera back in 2021. But I really like this camera. It's like a disposable camera, except reloadable. Yeah, this camera, I'd say, is awesome. Thank you, Grandma. Alright, now, we have my favorite SLR film camera. This is the Canon EOS Rebel S Flash. I've shot tons of rolls with this, you know, tons of different film rolls with this. You know, like Cinestill, Kodak, even some expired film through this. And I gotta tell you, the pictures that come out from this camera are really high quality. They look really good. I love the quality of the photos that I get with this camera. It's awesome. I even have the neck strap for it, so that way I won't have to hold the camera all the time. I can just let it hang loose on my neck. Alright. Next up is a camera that I haven't really used, but I have gotten this back in summer 2019. This is the Canon Genesis 2. Now, I think this is another SLR camera, except it has date capabilities. This is a pretty cool looking camera, I'm not gonna lie. The next camera is actually my great-grandmother's camera. It's a very simple box camera with an unknown brand, and I'm unable to shoot photos with it because I don't have a back for this box camera. But this, by far, is the oldest film camera and the oldest camera, period, that I own currently. It's probably from either the late 1800s or the early 1900s. So yeah. Alright. So, in this case, we have a Polaroid S670 camera, specifically the Polaroid Pronto S670 camera. And I have shot a pack through this, and the photos are decent. It did originally include flash bars, but of course I've used them up while testing out the camera last summer. So yeah, ooh, look at all the cameras I have so far. I mean, just look. That's a lot of cameras. But we're not done yet. Next up, in here I actually have a movie camera. It's a pretty unusual movie camera. This is a Kodak magazine Cinecodac 16mm camera. But it isn't just any 16mm camera. That's right, it's not a 16mm camera where it has like a reel, but instead it actually takes magazines that are like this size, like this. They just plop into your camera rather than using the roll and, you know, threading it, right? You know, honestly, that's much easier than just having to thread the film. You just plop it into your camera. But the thing is, Kodak doesn't officially make the film anymore, but Film Photography Project does make the film. So you can still shoot with these cameras. And they're not incredibly rare. So let me show you some operation here. I'm going to twist the crank really fast and forceful, I might add. Ooh, okay. Now, with this camera, it has 3 different shutter speeds. We got 16 frames a second, 32 frames a second, and 64 frames a second. So that's really cool. Anyway, listen to the sounds of this camera. That's 16 frames a second. And then here's 32 frames a second. A little louder and faster. And then here's 64 frames a second. That is really cool. One more time, just for the big guns. Yeah. I love this camera. And the viewfinder is decent as well. Alright. And then we got a couple of accessories here. And we're going to start off with the digital cameras now. So, for the accessories, we have the Sears Auto Bounce flash thing, which I don't know how to use, but I think it's pretty cool. And then we have a Fujifilm Instax Share SP2. So basically this is an Instax mini film printer. So instead of taking pictures with the camera and having those pictures print out, this printer actually shares Wi-Fi with your phone, and whatever pictures you take with your phone you can send over to the printer via Wi-Fi, and it'll print out those pictures for you. So that's really cool. And then we're going to start off the digital cameras now. But wait, I did forget to show you 2 more film cameras. But why not show you this first, right? This is a GoPro Hero Black 7. I love this camera, and one of my friends actually gave this to me as a birthday present this year. That was a really nice gift. Alright, and now for the very end of the film cameras, we have this case. And all the stuff that I got in here, I got for free. Alright, take a good look. Man. Yeah, that looks freaking awesome. Alright, so we have the Minolta Srt 102, which is an early 70s camera. And they're both SLR cameras, by the way. And I'll show you how to attach the lens like this. There we go. I don't have any film in here. I'm just testing out the camera for you guys. Yeah. And then, you know, with the Minolta Srt 102, the only time you ever need a battery is for looking into you know, light and stuff, efficient light and stuff like that, setting exposures and stuff. This camera is the Minolta X700, and this is an early 80s camera, but unfortunately you need a battery in order for it to even operate. So yeah. Now what I like about this camera is that it has a closer focal length of a lens than the previous camera, which looks zoomed out, but this lens with the Minolta X700 looks very zoomed in. I quite like that. Alright, and then we got some accessories in here, like these lens filters, which I don't know what they do or anything. Alright, and then we got an auto telemax lens from the looks of it. I don't really know. And then we got this little thing here, which I don't know what it does, but it's MD 28mm. We have this bottle, cleaning fluid. In this bag here is a light meter. A light meter like this. I don't think I ever plan on using this, but and I think the battery's dead. But yeah. Oh, and it looks like I just broke it. Whoops. Alright, well I guess I'll never get to use that. Frick. Alright, and then we got this more zoomed in lens. This is a Minolta MD Tele lens. Now, when I put this onto my camera, you can just tell how huge the camera looks. And now, it's even more zoomed in. I can't even see my phone through that lens. It's so far. You know, I think it would be absolutely great, though, for sports photography. You know, when you're, like, really far away and you really want to get those super up-close shots, then have at it. And then, ooh, this big monster of a lens right here is called the Spiritone Pluricoat Sharpshooter. Look how big this lens is. I mean, holy frick. Alright. Now, when I screw this onto my camera, and yes, it will work, take a look at how big the camera gets. I mean, just wow. Just friggin' wow. And it's great for getting super far away subjects, or I guess since this is called the sharpshooter, I guess it'd be really useful for shooting stars or astrophotography. So yeah, that's huge friggin' lens. We have these flash filters that just fell out of this, but we have a clear pattern here, and then we got yellow, green, and red. And then there's a bunch of extra stuff. So, yeah. Alright, guys, well, that's it for the film cameras. Now we're going to move on to the digital cameras that I have, and it's not many. So, yeah, we're nearing the end of this vlog video soon, and we're ending it off with the digital cameras that I got. And most of them are silver cameras. So yeah, keep that in mind as well. Alright, we have the Nikon Coolpix 4300, which instead of being shot on SD cards that we use nowadays, right? They use compact flash cards. And this is a pretty old camera from, I think, 2003 or 2004. Alright. And then we have the Olympus Commedia C770 Ultra Zoom digital camera. Oh, and by the way, with that last camera that I showed you, and with this camera, these take rechargeable batteries. Here's the rechargeable battery from the Olympus. And here's the rechargeable battery from the Nikon. Very different in shape and color. Ooh. Anyways, unfortunately, I think the rechargeable battery in here is dead, and I don't have a charger for it, so unfortunately, I can't use this. But, unlike any other digital camera that I have, this camera does not take SD cards, but rather XD picture cards. So yeah. And then I have another camera that does not take SD cards, and is the oldest digital camera in my collection. This is the Sony Cybershot camera, specifically the Sony Cybershot DSC S75. Now, this actually also only takes a rechargeable battery, but this is a huge freaking battery. An Infolithium M battery. That's a freaking huge battery. And the type of media that it takes is actually a memory stick card. So yeah. And I'm assuming in here is where the memory stick goes. So yeah. But it does work. Here it is. Love the camera. It's a really cool camera. I do like the screen. The screen is a little bit bigger than even those previous cameras that I showed you. It's a pretty big screen. You know, compared to this Nikon camera, it's a small screen. This has a pretty big screen. Next camera, one of my favorite digital cameras. It's the Nikon Coolpix 4100, and I love this camera, like a lot. So yeah, it's cool. And I have been taking pictures with this since May 2021. Alright, 3 more digital cameras to go. This is the Samsung Digimax 4500 Super. I love this camera. It's pretty cool. And then we have the Kodak Easyshare DX4530. Pretty compact camera. But anyways, starting off with the previous camera, or the previous two cameras that I showed you, along with this, it takes AA batteries, but you can actually insert other types of batteries in there, and not just AA. You can put in CRV 3 batteries and KAA2HR batteries. Never heard of those batteries before. And then we got the Canon Powershot A560, which is the most modern digital camera I have currently, and the highest quality at 7.1 megapixels. But yeah, this one has the biggest screen of all of them. Yeah. And what's ironic about this camera is that it actually only requires AA batteries, whereas some of the older digital cameras that I have, like the Nikon Coolpix 4300 and that Olympus Commedia camera, they need rechargeable batteries. Oh, and also that Sony camera, which is actually the oldest camera. What's really ironic is that the newest camera in my collection only requires 2 AA batteries, whereas the oldest digital camera that I own, the Sony CyberShot DSC S75 camera, uses a huge rechargeable battery. And you know what's even crazier? Most modern cameras nowadays actually use rechargeables, even point-and-shoots now. Alright, now for the very last digital camera in my collection. In this beautiful case, we have... just trying to struggle out of the case here. There we go. This is the Kodak Easyshare Z650. Now, what's really cool about this camera is that when you turn it on, it actually flips up the flash like that. So when you go into camera mode, or to turn it on, it flips up the flash automatically. And instead of it being like, like a regular viewfinder, like film cameras, where you can just see through the viewfinder, it's just plastic and stuff like that. That camera actually has a viewfinder where it actually mimics what's on the screen. So that's really, really cool. So, yeah. Alright, guys, well, with all the cameras that I have here, all on my bed, hopefully not making too much of a mess. Yeah, it's fun collecting cameras, and I hope to continue collecting, cameras, new and old. If you guys would like to subscribe to my Gucci channel, click here. Or if you'd like to see my previous vlog video, click here. Alright, Gucci's, this is Gucci Nathan, signing off. Stay Gucci.